This is going to be a short video in rebuttal to Stellium 7, Dr. Mike Wilkerson, and the effort that he put into a 3-hour video about me and Frank Aon. 3 hours. Now, I've been making videos for a long time, and that takes a lot of effort. He must have had hundreds of hours of edit and production time into that. And I've been making videos for decades, and he just started a couple of years ago because I guess he didn't have very much content until he came out with his heart-shaped stones. And this is certainly not going to be 3 hours. This is going to be pretty quick. And Mr. Wilkerson, he lives in Spain, and evidently when he was out hiking and he come across this river that has all these heart-shaped stones in it, and he comes up and he goes and says, these stones are actually petrified hearts. And I guess there's not a lot of people that have been following this that follow my channel, because there's not been anything on it. So his paradigm concerning his heart-shaped stones, and he got I had learned from a friend about him, and I said, well, I'll do what I can, this and that, and that's what we did. And he's also got some of these heart-shaped stones that actually have holes in them, and he doesn't understand that flesh doesn't petrify like it does in his mind. And then he can come up with all these things, just make it up as you go, make up this scenario, make up that scenario. It's all empirical, just like he says, it's empirical. Now let's hear a clip of what he says about me.
Oh, and please don't let Harry Hubbard's country bumpkin demeanor fool you. This guy is brilliant, ridiculously well studied, has an encyclopedic knowledge of history. He's also an expert in numerous ancient languages and much more. And Frank himself described Harry as one of the most intelligent people he's ever known.
So now you've seen what Mr. Wilkerson says about me. And he evidently respects the knowledge of Frank Aon, who is a genius in his own right. There's no one the world over that compares to Frank Aon doing what he does. So he says that I'm a smart guy, I'm a bright guy, or brilliant, whatever he uses. But he does that, but he doesn't believe anything that I say. He doesn't believe anything that Frank Aon says. Well, why is that? He's locked into a paradigm that has been successful for him, and he can't get out of that paradigm. He's never going to be able to get out of that straitjacket. He's always going to be shackled by the facts. And it was obvious that he has consulted other geologists and archaeologists, whoever he's consulted, and they all said the same thing. So if you've talked to or shown 10 different people your specimens, and they all say exactly the same thing pretty much, doesn't it dawn on you that maybe somebody's right? But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. And when he put his video up, he cut a 3-hour video about a couple of my emails, and one person said, well, your email to Stellium 7 proves that you're a crybaby. I'm not crying, and I'm not butthurt. Not me. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not peddling bullcrap. But he is, and he will continue to do so until he finds something. Now he's got some anonymous doctor or something that's going to come on, and he's got that real smooth talking voice. And come on, well, that doctor probably doesn't know beans about geology, probably doesn't know beans about minerals or fossils, but he's going to certify Mr. Wilkerson's heart-shaped stones. And then Wilkerson goes on about the empirical, and then he gets on to Frank Aon for saying that he showed this to several people, and then saying what this person thought, or these people thought, this group thought about the heart-shaped stones. And he says, oh, that's not a test of anything. But that's exactly what Mr. Wilkerson has done. He has looked at them and thought that they were heart-shaped stones. So he's accusing us, in a bad way, of doing exactly what he did. And I challenge any one of you to just look up empirical knowledge or anything empirical. It means without science.
Oh, and please don't let Harry Hubbard's country bumpkin demeanor fool you. This guy is brilliant. Consider the massive amount of empirical evidence I've presented in support of my theory.
We are now going to explore a few definitions online. Anyone can go and put these words in and find these online. It's no secret. It's no secret. Empiric is the noun. And here we go. a person who follows an empirical method, a quack, a charlatan. So by Mr. Wilkerson's own admission, all this empirical evidence I have shown you, well, that's what it is right there, buddy. You're a quack and a charlatan. Right here, adjective empirical. But your followers aren't going to make it, it's not going to make any difference. Like Mr. Aon has predicted, you aren't going to change anything, and the facts are not going to bother you at all. Empirical, based on, concerned with, or verifiable by observation or experience rather than theory or pure logic. And that right there is what really grabs Mr. Wilkerson, pure logic. There is no logic. Just throw logic out the window. And once you throw science out the window, I used to say the sky's the limit. It's not anymore. They go way past that. Way, way, way past that. Here, let's look at this one here. What is an empiric person? A person who relies solely on practical experience rather than on scientific principles. Throw science, just flush it down the toilet. Just flush it down the toilet. Let's look at another one here. Are we getting it? Are you understanding? Empiric, noun. Definition of empiric, charlatan. One who relies on practical experience. Mr. Wilkerson, before you start reciting big words that you've never used before, you might want to open up a dictionary and see what they mean. I mean, can't be any more clear than that. You claim that you've got empirical evidence. Yeah, you do. It's without science, and it's absolutely outrageous. Throw logic, throw science right out the window. Flush them down the toilet.
Consider the massive amount of empirical evidence I presented in support of my theory.
I've got one more definition to show you under empiric. Right here. I had to cut and paste this one because I had so many ads in it. Empiric, a person who depends on experience or observation alone. A quack. Charlatan.
My critics have continually dismissed my findings with a hand wave without addressing any of the empirical findings I've presented. Isn't that interesting?
Now, did you catch that? He's talking about all of his critics. All of his critics. Oh, yeah? Well, evidently he has taken these stones, by his own admission, to other experts and paleontologists, and they all tell him the same thing. But he refuses to pay attention because he knows better. He has empirical evidence.
And Frank himself described Harry as one of the most intelligent people he's ever known.
And the comments that his subscribers put on my page, vitriolic. I mean, they was like calling me names, calling Frank A. Gatekeepers, snake oil salesmen, we're not seekers of truth. Or some of the others, that I was a crybaby. I'm not crying. I'm laughing. I'm laughing my tail off that so many people buy into such bullcrap. You show them bullcrap enough times, like a mountain that's in the shape of an elephant. That's a petrified elephant, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. How did the inside of that mountain petrify? Is there a heart inside that elephant that's petrified in that mountain? Come on, guys. But people will believe anything just the way it's presented. I get a kick out of it. But I was real interested in the heart-shaped stones. I did what I could to either go one way or the other. I was wide open, and I couldn't understand how come so many of these alleged animals had been petrified all in the same spot at the same time, with no field material, with no bones. And what animals are they? Okay, so Mr. Wilkerson, you got one of these heart-shaped stones. Tell me what animal, living or extinct, does that heart belong to? Let's try this, the small ones first. Let's try the small ones. And then let's move up to some of your larger ones. What animal is that?
Most importantly, as is the case with Frank Aon, they have all avoided any attempt to explain my findings with anything more than that's pareidolia or humiliated clay lump theory. Oh, and please don't let Harry Hubbard's country bumpkin demeanor fool you. This guy is brilliant.
So, Mr. Wilkerson, I'm calling you and your supporters out. going to make insane comments and posts, do it. Tell your people to do it on this video. Don't tell them to taint a video that has nothing to do with anything concerning here or any subject matter or topic that they have no clue whatsoever about. Put your insane comments on this video. Yes, that's where they belong. And so that my supporters can see just how crazy your supporters are.
Over an hour and 20 minutes into Mr. Wilkerson's video, he shows this cute little green frog here. He looks so soft, but he looks depressed. He looks sad. And you know why? Because he is butthurt. That's right. And if anyone noticed that Mr. Wilkerson spent about 15 minutes of his video just talking about the Explorers Club, past and present members, attempting to get his viewer to discredit Frank Aon because he spoke at the Explorers Club. Frank Aon probably didn't know anybody at the Explorers Club except for the person who booked him and the person who paid him. But Mr. Wilkerson would have you think that Frank Aon was all tied in with the Explorers Club for one reason or another. Isn't that grasping at straws? Because Mr. Wilkerson had nothing else to say. Mr. Wilkerson didn't mention anything about Frank Aon's lecture and how brilliant it was and how well he covered so many ancient subjects. No, nothing. He's trying to make Frank Aon look bad and save his own face. Isn't that peculiar? Yes, the frog is very sad.
And please don't let Harry Hubbard's country bumpkin demeanor fool you.
I'm back with my neighbor Jeremy.
Okay.
What's that happened?
Sorry, Harry.
That's
Goddamn
okay. That's pretty funny, wasn't it?
shit. Goddamn.
This is what happens when you crack up a guest that you're interviewing. They laugh, and then they start thinking about stuff, and then it's like getting even more and more funny. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
you're turning red on me.
Yeah. Well, I looked up at the camera and I had tears in my eyes. I just couldn't do it. All right, I'm good.
Okay. The fact that Mr. Wilkerson puts together a 3-hour video of me and Frank Aon and what we did and what we said, just because we tested this stuff, this stuff's been tested, it's a hoax. He's doing all he can to save face and to perpetuate his empirical bovine manure. That's all he's doing. He's trying to save face and hold on to his subscribers, because if he ever admits to himself that these heart-shaped stones are not petrified hearts, then he's lost everything. He's lost everything. He got nothing. He's got no material of anything else. And when it comes to that elephant mountain, I wonder where the legs are on that elephant. Just asking.
This guy is brilliant.
I'm going to take an opportunity here to make another prediction. And everyone knows my predictions come true. I've made predictions 25, 30 years ago that have come true. They've been long-standing. I guarantee that Mr. Wilkerson will never have a scientist or a geologist or anyone that knows anything about minerals to support him. In one passage he says all of the people that have seen these are just showing different things and whatever, but I guarantee you that he will never have the support of an actual scientist. It just ain't going to happen. No scientist is going to support his perpetuating the hoax that he's doing. And I've made a video about my rock and mineral collection, and I've also made a video concerning geology, my take on geology. It's called The Religion of Geology. It's down there somewhere. And I've been studying fossils and minerals, and I've got petrified dinosaur bones and different things. And I've never seen a fossil or a petrified anything with the same chemical content as what Mr. Wilkerson's stones tested out as. There's just nothing. I guarantee nobody's going to find anything like that. Can you find anything to support that, Mr. Wilkerson? I'm just asking.
Oh, and please don't let Harry Hubbard's country bumpkin demeanor fool you.
Okay, now, and I got to tell you something, Mr. Wilkerson, Mr. Stellium 7. It was very easy to crush your paradigm. You have been crushed.
This guy is brilliant, ridiculously well studied, has an encyclopedic knowledge of history. He's also an expert in numerous ancient languages and much more. And Frank himself described Harry as one of the most intelligent people he's ever known.
In Mr. Wilkerson's 3-hour plus video, he uses a few clips from one of my videos called Secret Ancient Man. And that's one of my favorites. Evidently, Mr. Wilkerson liked it too because he used clips from it. I want to encourage everyone to see that. It's a very fun video. There's no empirical information in there at all. It's all straight out of the book. And we're working on other projects that are just going to be mind-blowing, out of this world. And sorry, Mr. Wilkerson, but you're going to have to come up with something. I wonder if you're going to cut another 3-hour video and use clips from this video. I wouldn't be surprised, because you've got to save face. Okay, you've been crushed. You've been stepped on like a bug on my deck. So you got to do something. Until next time, brothers and sisters, peace out.
And please don't let Harry Hubbard's country bumpkin demeanor fool you. This guy is brilliant.
And if you look up empiric person or empiric man, it says quack. And that's what I believe Mr. Wilkerson is. He is a quack by his own definition of the word empiric and empirical.